to market and promote your record, loads and loads of different ways of doing it nowadays. And I think it would be good to have a take on you guys on how you're currently plugging your tunes, and how some tips on how to get these records out there. Do you think it's more fan based, or do you need a promotions company? Is radio important?
If you can afford a promotions company, then yes.
We've tried both, and to be honest, the promotions company hasn't made a difference. No. We released a record recently that we thought was a really strong record that had potential to maybe even get on daytime radio play. So we paid for a radio plugger. It cost us just shy of $2,000 just to get the plug-in done to all the way. It didn't make any difference. Absolutely nothing. It didn't get on daytime radio. It didn't even get any extra play on regional radio. So I think
social networking.
Social networking.
I think the thing you've got to bear in mind with promotion, you've got a press agent, regional, national press agent. You've got a radio plugger as well, who can work national, and somebody else who will work. So it all starts adding up when you start looking at all this stuff. And I think you've got to look at the release and think, what stage am I at? Is it worth doing? Because I don't know about you guys, but I've spent £1,000 a month, £1,500 a month from these people, giving them CDs to send, and I'm sure they've just binned them all and just taken the money. Do you know what I mean? Because they send you these reports back at the end of each month going, they didn't like it, no press, no plays, and all this sort of thing. It's the most depressing read in the world. And you think, this cost me £3,000.
Back in the day, when I was pressing vinyl, and releasing that way, we could use like the likes of Power. Do you remember? Promotions specifically set up to mail vinyl out to A, B, and C, DJ lists, etc., and for radio and club, and also magazine reviews, etc. I think I used them once or twice and thought, this is just silly. The costs were phenomenal, and in the end, I basically got myself a small exclusive list of DJs that I wanted and magazine reviewers, compiled that list, got all their addresses, and just went out and bought a load of cardboard envelopes myself, stamps, and did our own reaction sheets and just sent out the promos.
That's exactly what I did with my
and
first
it was so much cheaper, and it was more personalised as well. Really great back in the day that way. But as promotions changed, and it is the only way to do it really now is, Labelworks, going back to the aggregator, Labelworks offer a promotional service. You can do the same thing with digital releases. You can bundle it exactly the same way, where you kind of force a lot of feedback before that those DJs can actually physically download and use the piece of music. So it's kind of forcing them to feedback.
Right, let me just interject. I'm just going to interject the downsides of that. As a DJ, the downsides of that are I get at least 2,000 promos, like digital promos, a week, every single week, sent in my email. It gets to the point where I don't even listen to 90% of them now. I scan down the list and producers or labels that I know. I'll mark those. I'll listen to them first and foremost. All the other stuff, if I get round to it, I will. If I don't, I won't. Now, you're saying like Labelworks and all that. Again, you so many promos coming from Labelworks every day. And it's like 5-6 companies that everybody's using to send out promos. And it all gets lost.
I'm kind of highlighting the fact that that's the way it's changed.
It is changed. It has
physical
changed.
To digital.
But I'm not sure that that's a great thing. Like, just as you were just saying, basically, I don't even know if radio pluggers are worth it anymore. I'm not sure these kind of promotions companies are the way to go.
It's probably better to do it on a personal basis. Get to know DJs. Get to know, spark up a relationship with somebody who's playing on a high-profile radio station or magazine reviewers, and just spark up that relationship and email them.
Yeah. Most artists, if you drop them a message on Facebook or Twitter and ask them for an email address to send you stuff, most people will respond to you and give you that email address. They might not have a big full-blown conversation with you, but they will give you an email address of where you can send promos to. And then that way, like I was saying, you build up your own list then. And
that's liquid gold.
That is liquid gold.
List,
when you've got
I stole one off Polydor back in the day, a press list and radio list. Not allowed to do it. And I literally sent out 300-400 CD promos, just banged them out to all these places and got playlisted on XFM for 6 weeks and some other stations, all that sort of thing. So But it's what we were going back to earlier. It's who you know.
Yeah.
A mate of a mate of a mate might work for a local radio station. That's your in. That's where you get in. Do you know what I mean? You give them a copy of the CD or the vinyl or whatever, and then grow it. And then there's nothing. But the great thing about the internet these days is you can find out all the producers' names for all the radio stations, all the press contacts, without going through the Music Week directory.
Everybody's contactable. Yeah. Everybody's contactable now.
And if you just think outside the box a little bit, rather than just sending them a link to the download or whatever like that, you can actually start sending them even a physical copy. Do you know what I mean? Because that stands out now, as we were talking about before. Getting a physical copy of something. So just pick off your. If you're starting a label from scratch, you've got no budget, anything else, do it yourself. Facebook, Twitter, mail out a few people, a few contacts that you think will be into it, and just see if it grows and take it from there. Really.
It worked for me. I went and put my CD in the hand of Judge Jules, and followed it up with an email, and the next week it's on Radio 1 for 8 consecutive weeks, and it worked for me. And he carried on listening afterwards.
And if you can't always, touch base with the actual DJs, there's always a production company that's behind them as well, try and tap up those as well,
Chaps, so some stats from the International Music Summit was that 70% of the dance music industry said that companies like Fat Drop, which is a promotions company that sends out promotional records to DJs, very similar to all of the ones that we just mentioned, 70% said that they're just too expensive to do, which I think sounds logical, and 60% of the dance music industry said that they give music blogs permission to share their music. Right, which sort of opens up a can of worms on sharing and file sharing. But I'm going to say let's take a break, 10 minutes, and dwell on the side of file sharing. We'll just have a 10-minute break and come back for Q&A. Right,